Good morning, everyone. Welcome to practice. CA family in practice. Our first session on the current scenario of the member in practice by the senior and learned chartered accountant, Sri G.C.Pipara sir. He qualified before 39 years. He is having experience of 39 years. He is a founder partner of Pipara and Company LLP. If you see, it is amongst the first 5 firms of the Ahmedabad. Is mainly the research analyst and the expertise in the forensic audit. Apart from the traditional experience like accounts, tax, audit, now he is a research analyst and forensic auditor. He is also consultant to the state of the Gujarat Economic Office cell of the CID crime. He has also provided consultancy to SFIO and the CBI. He is author of the book Balance Sheet Decoded, Keys to Unlock Balance Sheet Secrets. Another book, Forensic Audit Decoded, the Unlocking the Secrets of the Financial Accounting and the Investigation. The government of India was also nominated at various places. For example, he has been nominated as a director in the board of the State Bank of the Saurashtra. He has delivered various lectures, and sir, I am thankful to you. Whenever you request the sir, he is also on give consent and spare the valuable time for us. One more achievement of the sir, that he has been recently awarded by the ICI for the second best international research paper on the T3 structure test, trace and track of the forensic audit. Let's have a big round of applause for the sir. We welcome you, sir. And I request you, sir, to start the session, or before that, yes. I would request Rinkesh sir and Purushottam bhai, please, sir. So, Felicity.
Yes.
Token of memento for the sir.
Yes.
Please, sir, guys.
Good morning, friends. I'm thankful to my younger brother Purushottam, sister Anjali, and I have a very love and affection to Purushottam because whenever there are certain training, certain program for the young chartered accountants particularly, it is always my pleasure to address you. And my today's topic is the current scenarios in the practice. I can see very young face, like morning roses, having smile on their face, looking for something to do in their life, and so is to profession. Let me start, friends, with Ye Yesu Saptesu Jagrati. Ye Yesu Saptesu Jagrati. This is the motto of our institute. What does it speak, friends? The one who is awake while all others are sleeping. Keep this in mind always. A chartered accountant is a person who is always awake. कब awake है वो? जब सब सो रहे हैं तब. The one who is awake while all others are sleeping is the motto of our institute, friends, designed way back in 1949. As Purushottam rightly said, that our institute came into effect even before the Constitution of India was made. And think, friends, that how much wisdom and sense of responsibility is being given to a chartered accountant कि जब सब लोग सो रहे हैं तब वो जो जगा हुआ है वो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है. जगा हुआ फिजिकल नहीं, जगा हुआ in sense of your presence, in sense of your knowledge, what is happening in the economy, what is the current scenarios, which are the opportunities available to you. You have to keep your eyes and ear open. So therefore, how do we keep eyes and ear open? We have to be well equipped. What are the relevant accounting standards? What are the auditing standards if we are doing audit? If we are doing forensic audit, what is the requirement? Which are the latest forensic accounting investigation standards issued by the institute? Why do chartered accountant is required to do the forensic audit? What is the purpose? What is the aim? What is the object? You must have clarity in your mind. And that is why, friends, if you keep this mind, these words in your mind, that you have to be always awake. Awake meaning thereby not physically, awake in your mind, that what is happening, what is going on, how do I can do something for me, so as to my family, so as to my profession, and so as to my institute. Mother Institute, Prasatam rightly said. Friends, you are in a golden era of your practice. Why I say you are in a golden era of your practice? Let me give you a brief figures of the GDP of the India. As you all know, it took 48 years of independent India to reach $1 trillion economy. How many years, friends? 48 years. Next 1 trillion economy took 12 years. And how many years the last 1 trillion? Because currently India is $3 trillion. How much years it took, friend, the last 1 trillion? Just 5 years. So this is the history of 75 years. Now, friends, it is being said that in another 25 years, which is your future, in another 25 years, India will be achieving $25 trillion economy. So imagine the potential in the market you have. Imagine the amount of work you have. Imagine the opportunities you have. There is a huge lots of opportunities. And I can see even today that when I started practice before 42 years, hardly the only practice was either to write the books of accounts or the income tax, or at the most audit was that time not that popular. It was just. Now, what are those opportunities, friends, available to you? In terms of opportunities, let me give you a brief background. So how you can explore all those opportunities and how to be successful in those opportunities is my talk of the day today. One of the important opportunity, friends, apart from auditing and assurance, I'll come to it little while because everyone we know that the auditing and assurance and what is the present state of affairs. I will say a few of my actual instances that how the certificate issued by chartered accountant and the gravity of the certificate and so much issues involved in the certificate or any financial statement. So one of the biggest opportunity today, friends, is in the forensic audit, in the IBC. When I say IBC, try to understand, friends, in the year 1991, when the Reserve Bank of India came out with the guidelines to deal with NPH. As you know, the NPH, that is the non-performing assets in the bank. And the non-performing assets is also because of the audited financial statement given by us. I'll come to this issue in a little while. But one of the biggest opportunity in 1991, when the Reserve Bank of India has constituted a Narasimhan committee, the Narasimhan committee has recommended that now the banker need to look into the end use of the funds, trail of the funds, trail of the commodity, which is one not visible from the plain analysis of the financial statement. Because the financial statement, as we all know, the balance sheet is a year-end position, and profit loss count is for the performance of the company. But if a company has given loan, let us say during the year to a related party, and on 31st of March, if the loan is repaid, probably it will not appear in the balance sheet. So, end use of the funds, trail of the funds, and therefore they said that the chartered accountants are the best suited to complete and conduct the forensic audit. And as a result, you will find way back in something in the year 2014-15, when NPH of the banking industry, how much was the NPH of the banking industry? What is the present NPH in banking industry? Anyone? 7%. Present is 7%. And way back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, it was age high friends, age 15%. That I'm talking of average NPA. Some of the banks NPH rose up to 20-25%. So can you imagine, just imagine that if a 100 rupees loan is given, how much amount has turned into NPA? And 75 lakhs trillion was the loan, 75 lakhs rupees trillion was the loan as on 31st of March 2015, when Raghuram Rajan was the governor of the Reserve Bank of India. And that time NPA 11%, and that I'm talking of reported NPA. So as a result, 8.2 trillion rupees was the NPA. Now imagine how many accounts, lakhs of accounts. So therefore the Reserve Bank of India said that wherever account turns into NPA, there has to be a forensic audit. So the first opportunity, friends, for you lies in the forensic audit, in the sense you need to approach to the banks wherever account has turned into NPA, and the banks are allotting forensic audit for a period of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending upon in which year loan is given and the present status. So forensic audit is not for 1 year or 2 years or 6 months. It is normally for 4 to 5 to 6 years, longer period of time, wherein from start to end, a financial transaction is being investigated. For example, if the issue is pertaining to disbursement of term loan, when the bank gave the loan, what were the papers provided by the company to the bank, whether these papers were correct, which were the certificate provided, which were the audited balance sheet on the basis of which appraisal has been made, whether those balance sheets were correct. Then utilization certificate being given by the chartered accountant, then entries passed in the books of accounts, where the funds has gone, what are those documents which has been made available to the bank with respect to addition, bills, lading bills, bill of lading, shipment, etc., etc., and then actual use of those assets. And then coming to the conclusion, looking to various evidences, looking to the various documentary evidences, looking to the various agreements, looking to the field visit, looking to the actual use of the assets, whether there was a diversion of funds or siphoning of the funds. Of course, the forensic audit itself is a very vast subject. It requires one full day deliberation to unearth misstatement of information, diversion of funds, siphoning of the funds. But so far as this first session is concerned, the one of the biggest opportunity is with respect to forensic audit. Second, friends, for a smaller account, ASM is another opportunity, Agency for Specialized Monitoring, meaning thereby where the account has not turned into NPA, but bank feels that there is some stress in the account, or bank feels that account may turn into NPA after 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. As a precautionary measure, the banks are also now invariably in most of the accounts, wherever the loan is in excess of rupees 5 crores or 10 crores rupees, also they are appointing a chartered accountant firm or an individual chartered accountant to look into the affairs of the company, affairs of the borrower. Right from business model, right from use of the assets, right from actual purchases of assets, actual movement of the goods, whether the payment is legitimate or not, whether the payment is required for the purpose of business or not. Is it an attempt to divert the funds Is it an attempt to siphoning of the funds? So another opportunity, friends, is with respect to ASM, Agency for Specialized Monitoring. In particular to young chartered accountant, this is easily available because bank also prefer to have a smaller or young chartered accountants who can devote more time for working on ASM, and your experience of ASM can be used for you to qualify for the purpose of forensic audit when IBH is making panel of the forensic auditors firms. So friends, another opportunity lies within the organization of the audit you are doing. What we normally do, when we go to the audit, we look into the evidences. As rightly said, the auditor is a watchdog. Am I right? Not a bloodhound. But in present age, friends, I am of the firm view that we cannot survive our practice if you will remain only a watchdog. You have to be extra vigilant. Wherever there is a smell of the blood, you need to assume the role of bloodhound also. Let me give you a few examples. That when a company is buying fixed assets, don't restrict yourself that there is a purchase, there are quotations, there is a delivery of the plant and machinery which has been purchased. As fixed assets, every company is required to maintain in the CARO. If you remember, there is a clause number 1 which says that whether the company is maintaining proper records of fixed assets. We invariably say yes, without looking whether the fixed asset register is maintained or not. That's another aspect, I'll come in a little while. But look at the business model of the company. How do you look into business model? I'm just giving one example or few examples. Let us say the company's installed capacity is 100 metric tons per month. Whatever be the product, be it is steel manufacturing, pharma, textile, whatever be the industry. And the company is presently operating at, let us say, 50%, 60% or 70% of the capacity. Clear? Does this suggest that the company should go for further capex? No, because when the existing capacity, friends, is not fully utilized, why the company is going for expansion? Like such are the another biggest opportunity available to you. But what we do, friends, when we go for the audit, we just look at the bills, we look at the invoice, we look at the delivery challan, we look at the payment is made by account pay check, without looking into what was the need and purpose of this expenditure. Try to look into the need and purpose of any major expenditure. If a company is buying certain raw material, friends, how many of you look into what is the composition, what is the formula? If it is a, let us say, steel, iron or any company, because every company is a chemical company, every company has a manufacturing formula. So applying that formula on the finished products and deriving that what should be the quantity of the raw material purchased by the company and comparing it with actual raw material purchase and suggesting to the management that as per your formula you should have purchased item A of this quantity, whereas your company has purchased item A much higher than this quantity, and as a result suggesting management that by having an internal control, by having checks and control in place, company can save on such expenditure. So like this, friends, there are n number of examples. For example, if a company is going through capital work in progress, as we all know, CWIP कितने साल तक हो सकता है? ज़्यादा में ज़्यादा 12 महीने, 18 महीना, 24 महीना. If it is a normal industry, unless the industry, it is a shipping industry which takes 2 years, 3 years to complete a facility. But if a company is continuously showing CWIP, meaning thereby that CWIP does not have any value, it's only on paper. How many of we suggest management that please look into this facility which is being under construction, there seems to be something wrong with the facility, either it is not created or not fully optimized. if a company is making investment into subsidiary, looking into the object of the subsidiary, why the subsidiary is being set up, what is the plan of the subsidiary, how much funds will be required in the near future, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then suggesting management. So the point, friends, is that the audit and assurance functions we carry out today, if you travel little beyond, if you think that I'm no more a watchdog, I'm a bloodhound, assume your role for a moment as bloodhound, investigate the issue thoroughly, properly, deep into the issue, go to the deep of the issue, and if you can come out with a good idea, process audit, management audit, all those are the another emerging opportunity available to you, because all the managements, every management, be it small, be it medium, be it large, only the amount and level will change, but the process remains same. They are looking to us, a chartered accountant, that if we can guide them in designing the process, in procurement of the material, in holding period of the inventory, suggesting that your debtors are not received beyond the credit period and still the company has not charged interest, looking into those all old outstanding debtors and suggesting management ways of recovery, ways of charging interest, because at the moment debtors goes old and old, the chances of recovery becomes very less. That is the indirect loss to the company. So the point, friends, is that when you do the audit, you already have some assignment. Also look into the details. Also go to the deeper aspects, and then you can provide your valuable services. I always say that in a chartered accountancy, if you are willing to exert yourself, life can give you a great deal. I repeat, and friends, believe me, when I started practice, when I came to Ahmedabad, I was alone. I was not knowing anyone. I started with zero practice, with no contacts, no clients. And today, with the grace of God, we have presence in Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Delhi, New York, Singapore, Dubai, and Isle of Man. And my staff strength is 280 plus persons. And I can see that there are young chartered accountants doing very good business in my firm, doing very good profession, much better than me, because they are acquainted with the latest laws. What has happened in that? This is possible, friends, if you are willing to exert yourself. Life can give you a great deal. Don't cut the corners. Go to the root of the issue. Another major problem with chartered accountants is that once we get an assignment, we just try to finish it. ऊपर से उसको finish करने की कोशिश करते हैं. Detailed में नहीं जाते हैं, depth में नहीं जाते हैं. आप जितना detailed में, जितनी depth में जाएंगे, आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा खुद को. और वो खुद का सीखा हुआ क्लाइंट के लिए भी हेल्पफुल रहेगा, प्रोफेशन के लिए भी हेल्पफुल रहेगा. And I have made it a policy in my company that whenever we accept an assignment, we go deep to the issue. And I also personally do the audit, go for the forensic audit. I don't mind sitting late up to 2-3 o'clock in the night with my team, interacting with the team, what are the issues, and then having a good skill of drafting. So another important point, friends, I want to suggest you that you must have a team. Because nowadays, laws are very complex. It's not possible that one person is expert in income tax, is also expert in audit and assurance, and is also expert in forensic audit, and is also expert in IBC. And then on the top of it, drafting skill, marketing skill, managing the client is also a skill, getting the fees is also a skill. So have a combination that if one is good in marketing, take your another partner who is good in execution of the job. If you are good in execution, take another person who can draft the reports, because any good amount of work done is of no use unless we are able to communicate. And particularly, believe me, in the case of forensic audit, it requires a complete drafting of the report, because unlike our statutory audit, we have a fixed format of profit loss account, balance sheet and auditor's report. What we need to do? At the most we just need to draft the notes on accounts or significant accounting policies or some paragraph in auditor's report with respect to qualified opinion or emphasis of matters or other notes. That's all. But in the case of forensic audit, there is no fixed draft. You need to elaborate the issue, what is the issue involved, how you have investigated, what are those documentary evidences you have examined, and what is your conclusion. So your report has to be conclusive because the chartered accountant, the stakeholders look into the conclusive report. In forensic audit, friends, we have got number of assignments from the banks and various institutions because they are not my relative, because they know there is a quality in the work. Which quality they look? Whatever is the issue, you decide in favor of the borrower or against the borrower. You may term certain transaction as a diversion or siphoning. Bank is not concerned with that. Bank is concerned that the report has to be very clear. Because the forensic audit report, your investigation report, your ASM report will ultimately, bank will be taking certain actions and matter may invariably travel to the High Court or Supreme Court. Because if you are declaring a particular account as a fraud or diversion of funds or siphoning of the funds, you may be aware that the Reserve Bank of India has also mandated wherever account has turned declared as a fraud by the forensic auditor, the bank needs to file a complaint before CBI, SFIO and ED as the case may be. And that is purely based on the forensic audit report issued by the chartered accountant. And if your report is not clear, what will happen? Bank will file, and after 4, 5, 6 years of litigation, the court will say there is no content in the forensic audit report, the disclosure made is not correct, issue is not properly investigated, and all, there will be so much chaos you can understand. So friends, our financial statement, your forensic audit is a supply chain. They are the barometer, they are the best document on the basis of which various actions are being initiated by the regulator on the basis of your forensic audit report. So friends, I would also like to say a few instances. In one of the cases, we were doing the investigation forensic audit. Then we found that one chartered accountant from Ahmedabad, he was a young chartered accountant, as young as you. He has issued 4, 5, 6 certificates to the company. As you know that wherever the bank disburses certain limit, there is always requirement of end-use certificate. Am I right? Number of chartered accountant, you must have issued end-use certificate stating that this is the fund disbursed by the bank. You have examined the bank statement or the books of accounts and certified that this fund has been used for the purpose of payment to so-and-so, for plant and machinery, building so-and-so, so-and-so. When we examined the books of accounts, friends, that the CA certificate was totally devoid of the merits. In the books, it was exactly what had been stated in the certificate, but we examined the document and used bank statement. The funds were never used for that purpose, rather it was used for the purpose of giving loan to related party. And in the books it has been shown as addition to plant and machinery or fixed assets. So when I examined the chartered accountant as a process of my investigation, our investigation, because we have to incorporate in the forensic audit report that what actions we have taken on the basis of this certificate, because the bankers has relied upon that certificate. Bankers said that what we do, there is a requirement that in case of end use we can't go and inspect, and therefore there is a requirement of a CA certificate, and rightly they have obtained the CA certificate. But when investigation carried out, it was found that there was no such assets. The chartered accountant, he was having friends tears in his eye and said, sir, please मुझे बचा लीजिए, मैंने तो कुछ भी इंस्पेक्ट नहीं किया, ये सर्टिफिकेट मैंने तो ऐसे ही साइन कर दिया, मैं नया था प्रैक्टिस में, अहमदाबाद का सीए है, एंड मैंने 6 सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू किए सर, एक सर्टिफिकेट का 25,000 रुपये लिया. Now try to understand, friends. Bankers have relied that certificate, I can't ignore it, no forensic auditor will dare to ignore it. And now the CBI is after him, calling him one after another hearing, seeking explanation, and now he is fearing that he may be arrested any day. because on the strength of this certificate, 600 crore rupees of the loan was disbursed. He has to keep his ears and eye open. अकाउंट बोरोवर बॉम्बे का है, प्लांट एंड मशीनरी बॉम्बे में है, सीए सर्टिफिकेट अहमदाबाद का, नथिंग बट इट वाज ए शॉपिंग, सर्टिफिकेट शॉपिंग. व्हाट इज सर्टिफिकेट शॉपिंग? पता है कि ये सर्टिफिकेट गलत है, आई गो टू ए, अगर ए ने नहीं दिया तो बी ने नहीं दिया तो सी ने. फ्रेंड्स, यू हैव टू कीप एवरीथिंग इन माइंड, व्हाई इट हैज कम टू यू. आपको आपके सिस्टम से बाहर निकल के यू हैव टू कीप, एज आई सेड, यू हैव टू कीप योर ईयर्स एंड आई ओपन. व्हाटएवर सर्टिफिकेट यू इशू, व्हाटएवर फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट यू साइन, because it is signed for all. You can't say that it will be used only for the purpose of filing income tax return. It may be used for any purpose. And therefore, friends, the present scenario is very bright. As I said, the next 25 years you have a very bright future, because the India is aiming at a 25 trillion US dollar economy in the next 25 years. कितना काम आपके पास आएगा, कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज आपके पास है. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू गियर योरसेल्फ, यू हैव टू बी रेडी फॉर दैट. हाउ टू बी रेडी? यू शुड हैव द कंप्लीट नॉलेज ऑफ, इफ यू आर डूइंग ऑडिटिंग एंड एश्योरेंस, कंप्लीट नॉलेज ऑफ अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स, ऑडिटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स. If you are doing forensic audit, what is the Companies Act, what is diversion, what is siphoning, you must have that ability, skill to analyze a transaction. What is the end use of the funds? Is there any misstatement of information? Meaning that by accounting standard says कि inventory को ऐसे दिखाना चाहिए, whereas inventory has been valued differently and auditor's report is not qualified. So that is also misstatement of information. After the 2013 of Companies Act, any misstatement of information is also a fraud. And therefore you must be aware that if you are signing any audited financial statement and tomorrow something misstatement of information is found, the auditors are also made party by the SFIO, by the CBI, by the ED for not discharging their honors properly. So second, you have to be ready. You must have the complete thorough knowledge of the issues. You must have a team in place. आज का जमाना चला गया कि कोई अकेला आदमी से प्रैक्टिस कर लेगा, अनलेस कि बहुत ही ज़्यादा ब्राइट है या exceptional circumstances है, but there will be too much struggle. It will take too much time. And particularly, I have seen that the field of chartered accountant, the field in which we deal, banks, it all impatient. उनके पास टाइम नहीं होता है. No one has a time to read the financial statement. They will just go on your auditor's report and opinion part पढ़ लेते हैं कि qualified है कि modified है. What is the profit? No one is looking into deeper aspects of the financial statement. So you must have a team in place. Marketing, drafting, execution, collection, client management, audit है तो income tax का. So you must have a team in place which can complement each other. दोनों आप इनकम टैक्स के एक्सपर्ट हैं तो कोई पर्पज मेरे हिसाब से सर्व नहीं होगा. वन इज इनकम टैक्स, अदर इज जीएसटी. दैट द टीम इन प्लेस. एंड फोर्थ, फ्रेंड्स, कीप योर आइज एंड ईयर ओपन. देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज. थिंक आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स. अपने सिस्टम से अपन क्या करते हैं, कंफर्ट जोन में पहुंच जाते हैं. ऑडिट मिला तो कंफर्ट जोन में पहुंच जाएगा, हो जाएगा. बट कीप इन माइंड, डोंट कट द कॉर्नर. जैसे पुरुषोत्तम जी ने सुबह कहा था, डोंट कट द कॉर्नर्स. आप बहुत डिटेल्स में जाइए, उसका अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड क्या है, उसका एग्रीमेंट थोरोली पढ़िए. कोई परचेजेज है तो डोंट लुक एट द परचेज एग्रीमेंट को थोरोली पढ़िए. उसकी क्या टर्म्स है, क्या कंडीशन है, वेदर दी टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन हैज बीन फुलफिल्ड, सिग्नेचर किसने किया, स्टैम्प पेपर कहाँ का है, पूरा थोरोली. यू शुड हैव एवरीथिंग ओपन इन योर माइंड. That will give you lots of opportunities. The process audit, the management audit, the investigation audit, the internal audit, or business model suggest करना. These are the various opportunities available to you, friends. And another last point, friends, you have to keep in mind that your audited statement, your financial statement, your certificates are relied blindly by the various stakeholders and regulators. I regularly impart training to the banks. That is one of the largest training is one which I impart to the bankers. And they invariably say, सर हम क्या करें, ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट हमको देते हम गलत नजर आते हैं, सर्टिफिकेट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स के गलत होते हैं, हम क्या करें? सो देयरफॉर फॉर योर नॉलेज, वन अपॉन ए टाइम CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, has issued a guideline in the year 2018 not to rely on a certificate issued by a chartered accountant. Try to understand how humiliating it is for a chartered accountant, and therefore bankers have been asked by the CVC to independently verify the credentials of a certificate issued by the chartered accountants of. So therefore friends, I request that be alert, be vigilant. There are lots of opportunities available to you, not only in India, even in abroad. With respect to outsourcing, there are various economies which are open to chartered accountant. You can go and practice there. There are various opportunities, designing of the course, designing of a business policy. For example, if you read a financial statement of any big companies, you will find a disclosure of which are the various acts applicable to this company, like Boiler Act, Workmen Compensation Act. There are various acts, and every act there is a risk. You can design a policy that how to address these particular risks in that company. So there are lots of opportunities available to you, friends. Thank you for the Ahmedabad branch for inviting me and guiding you with respect to the present scenarios. And I certainly believe, friends, that if you just keep in your mind that life can give you a great deal if you are willing to exert yourself. And ये यीशु सत्येषु जागृति, हर वक्त आप जगे रहिए. कोई अगर आपको बड़ा असाइनमेंट मिलता है, थिंक ऑफ दैट असाइनमेंट. वॉरेन बफेट ने एक बार कहा था कि अगर कोई आइडिया आपके पास में आता है तो यू while walking, while sleeping, while working, think of that ideas कि मैं इसको कैसे implement करूँ कि ये successful हो जाएगा. जितना ज़्यादा आप सोचेंगे उतना ज़्यादा. जैसे I was preparing a software for the purpose of analysis of financial statement. तो मैं सोचता रहा उसके बारे में सुबह दोपहर शाम सोते जागते. And as a result, I have come out with a nice tool how to read and understand the financial statement by use of AI/ML. So I am using AI/ML in reading and understanding the financial statement. AI/ML पूरी report ड्राफ्ट करता है. What is the trend in sales? What is the trend in profitability? What is the EBITDA margin? What is the qualified opinion of the auditors? And why the importance of this qualified which worth of the company? How much is the amount involved in qualified opinion? Which net worth of the company? So friends, always उसके अंदर घुल जाइए, deep जाइए. It will give you good opportunities and you can do wonders in your career. You will be very happy, your family will be happy, the profession will be happy, and your clients will be happy. And last point, as Purushottam said, I would also like to convey, yes, you have to be very particular in your conduct. For example, in the beginning of my career, when I used to give time to my client, one client when I gave 6 o'clock, he didn't turn up at 7 o'clock. So I didn't wait for him to come to my office at 7 o'clock. I left my office at 6:15. And as a result, सभी clients को message चला गया, he is very particular in his timings. So now all started maintaining that timings. अगर आपने practice ऐसे कर ली कि रोज शाम को बैठ के 2 घंटे गप्पे मार रहे हैं, तो that is the image you are giving. That is the image you are conveying to others. So it's all depend upon your conduct, image, have knowledge, have clarity in your mind, have that I want to do something. अगर आप में वो हिम्मत और जोश ही नहीं है तो दूसरा तो कैसे दिलाएगा? Have faith in yourself, have faith in the God in which you believe, have faith in your parents, and have faith in your profession. Certainly, friends, I have seen large number of chartered accountants even working with me as a partners. They are the amount of courage and thinking and deliberation they are making in our meeting. So I request you, wish you all the best. You can certainly do the wonders. If you need any of my guidance, help, you can visit anytime to my office. It will be my pleasure to guide you that which are the opportunities available to you and how we can groom them. The Purushottam is already there. You can contact him, branch, and it will be my pleasure, friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. From converting practice from zero to having more than 250 employees, the experience which you possess, which you have deliberated in nutshell to upcoming COP holders, you also rightly mentioned, be alert, be vigilant by quoting various authorities how they are active. Apart from that, sir, you rightly mentioned the use of technologies nowadays in the practice. And at last, you perfectly and to the point said that the value of your time. Be on time and give proper indications to the client about the value of your time. Sir, thanks a lot for enlightening young chartered accountants who just entered for the practice and sharing your valuable inputs for their future. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir. Now we are starting the next session and Daz is changing.